Welcome everybody, welcome back to Spiritual Talk. It's Wednesday again. Wednesday evenings just come around so quick, don't they?
Definitely.
How
It's
you
like
doing?
mad.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Really good. Really good. It'd be good to see if people are coming on watching. Let us know you're there, guys. We've got
Hi, Paul.
Paul and Lou. Happy birthday to Paul. We know it's your birthday today, Paul. So I
Hi,
hope you had a
Lou.
really
Yeah,
good day.
happy birthday.
And Carol's on from YouTube. Hi, Carol. She's watching
Hi.
from YouTube. We've got
Hi, Vicky.
Oh, we got Joe on as well.
Joe.
Hi, everybody. It's great to see you all back here on this Wednesday evening. We've got another great guest, haven't we, Leanne?
Oh, yes, we have. Would you like me to start?
Yeah, can you introduce him? We'll get this gentleman in
So this gentleman is an international law of attraction expert. He's fully accredited and certified advanced international EFT practitioner. He's a crystal singing bowl sound healer, a channeler, a meditation teacher, an international published author, a certified life coach, and an inspiration and personal growth speaker. So he does lots, and his name is Colin Wyatt.
Let's bring him in.
Welcome.
Hi,
Colin.
Welcome to Spiritual Talk, Colin.
Welcome, and I love your intro, by the way, Paul and Leanne. Just the countdown was like, wow.
Yeah, we can thank. Actually, we should thank Dylan for that, because Dylan did all the new intros and outros, and he sits there in the back there. Anybody that tries to get in, and we sometimes get spammers come on. So Dylan's working in the background. Someone told me though he's on his own homebrew tonight, so I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work out tonight. But I'm sure it's well deserved, Dylan. It's a well deserved drink. So, Colin, lovely to have you on the Spiritual Talk.
Thank you, and thank you for the lovely intro as well, Leanne. You've plugged it well. I'm off now.
There's so much more I could have said, but I just wanted to get you on here. I mean, wow, where do we start?
I was going to say, I've got so many questions already. And guys, if you're at home, I've recently just heard of an EFT practitioner, but we'll get into all of that, what you do. But we always like to know about the people that we have on. We always like to know about their own personal journey, how you became to where you are today, Colin. Was it something specific, or was it from a child? You were quite open. What got you onto the path you're on now?
I think as a child, it's a great question, by the way. I think as a child, I always knew I was really odd. I knew I was different. I didn't blend in with my friends. I didn't blend in with my family. I just felt really kind of alien to it. So I was very aware, I guess, as a kid growing up. And but as you do as a child, you try to blend in. So you push everything to the back, and you kind of close yourself down in a way and just restrict, that natural unfolding of who you're going to become. Yeah. And it happened, going through joining the army, I guess. I joined the army at 16 as a child, had experiences there for sure. And a big awakening there with just how I saw the army, actually. Once you're in there and you see how it works. And I became very aware of that, very self-aware of like, hang on a minute, this is all wrong. Everything about this, it's wrong. And so I did my best to get out, which I managed to after 2 stints in jail.
2 stints in jail?
I read that in your book.
Wow.
Army jail, different story, different level of, very different. So I managed to do that and I got out. And then I guess I went down a road, a slippery road, because by the time I came out of the army, all of my friends that I knew were all kind of doing drugs. So I kind of went down that road, a little bit of a slippery road. I didn't go too far down, luckily, but there were some hard things I tried. Just because, again, I didn't understand the rules. As you go in as a child, what they do in the army is they totally brainwash you. So when you come out and you're in this society and everything's changed and there are no rules really, and it's a real mind shock. So it took me about 3 or 4 years to actually adjust back. But by that time, I'd kind of got into a little bit of a rut, but luckily got out of that. And then I think it was in 2000, I had my first awakening after a car accident. And it kind of spiraled me down into a spiral of depression, which was the most beautiful thing now, the most beautiful thing I could ever experience, because it was my first experience of there was so much more going on than I realized, you know.
That's probably the first time I've ever heard anybody use that kind of way to describe depression. And what a positive outlook you've kind of put on that, Colin.
I understand we have a choice. I just understand the word choice, and I understand that I can use it and feel sorry for myself if I want to. And I'm not saying depression is something that you feel sorry for. The way I understand depression actually is depression is anger turned inwards. Yeah. And aggression is anger turned outwards. You know, so, you know, and when we become internalized, you know, depressed, take that into 2 words, it's deep rest. The body needs deep rest. And so, you know, that's when we need time out. And yeah, so I understand there's a choice. There's a choice to that. There's a choice how I see it anyway, for me. And I choose the higher aspect of it.
Yeah.
I couldn't be here now without it, you know? So.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you have your like awakening moments? You know, like when we go through those bits, like epiphany bits, I think we like to call them, where it's almost, it smacks you in the face and there's no denying it, and you're like, I can't hide from it now.
I'll tell you the very first one where I was aware that there was things going on. I was living in Bristol at the time, and I was with my ex-wife, and we were at home, and I was in the bath, and I remember laying in the bath, and I could hear it was just this sound. It was like a right, and then kind of, and I could see in my mind's eye this lady with long hair picking it up with a paddle brush and placing it down. And I knew where it was. It was in my bedroom, but I knew there is no lady with long hair in my bedroom, and my ex-wife was downstairs. And I thought, that's weird. And I could see in my mind's eye what was going on. And I found that really strange. So I sat in that bath. Well, I laid in the bath for 2 hours until she shouted up, "You okay?" And I was like, "Come here." And there wasn't a ripple in the water, you know. And she came up, and I thought, survival of the fittest. So I sent her in to have a look. And there was nothing there, of course. And I was like, oh my life, you have no idea what I just experienced. And then on that night time, I'd been up in the loft a day before.
So, Colin, sorry to interrupt you. Can I break that experience down a little bit? So when you was in the bath for 2 hours, was you kind of frozen in that moment that you couldn't move?
I was petrified. It's because I could experience it and I could see it. And I could see what was happening, and I knew what she was using. I could see the brush. I could see her in front of the mirror, you know, like a vanity mirror sort of thing. And she was brushing her hair, and it was quite an old-ish house, you know. And I just knew I could see what was going on, and that's what petrified me, because it was like my first real introduction to, hey, there's other things going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, but on that evening, I looked up to the loft, and the lid had been closed over, but not like, you know, with a loft lid, well, it's square, right? So let's say you've got a hole, right? And you take the loft lid, right? And you normally just slide it straight across, right? Well, when I saw it, it was like that.
Yeah, see, I've got a thing with loft lids. I used to have that as a child. I used to have a loft lid above my bedroom, and sometimes I'd wake up in the morning, it wasn't even on because of the wind.
Right?
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you would think wind. There was no wind.
Yeah.
And I looked up, and my ex-wife said, "Did you pull that across?" I said, I haven't touched it. You know, and that, again, I knew then that there was, and I knew that was a male, actually, that one that was trying to contact and trying to kind of say hello and introduce himself. That was my very first introduction.
Interesting. So is that, in that experience itself, have you had a lot of that in terms of, well, it's kind of mediumship, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't like to use the word mediumship because it kind of, you know, it's not right. It's an experience. It's the experience itself. But did that take you into kind of mediumship, or just everything more?
It just took me into a wider level of awareness.
Okay.
Where I was like, okay. And then I left it. And then it kind of, surpassed, we moved and everything else. And so, that kind of went. And then it was when I had the car accident and I went down that deep phase of depression. That was when something quite surreal happened. And I was walking through to the kitchen to the living room, and there's a doorway. Yeah. And as I got straight on in the middle of that doorway, I was looking up. There was no one here. Everyone was upstairs. Kids were asleep. And I walked through the doorway. As I got through to the threshold, my whole body was lifted up, and I was literally my toes. It was the weirdest feeling. It was all like you imagine like pins and needles, but not pins and needles, But it was just rose up through my body. And it lifted me onto my tiptoes, and then lowered me back down. And that was a moment I was like, that is, that was, that wasn't scary. That just felt, wow, so it wasn't scary. I think. Yeah. So had a lot of things happen, and it was all introductions, and they've been trying for years apparently, but, I kind of put
just like blasé.
Okay. The wonderful thing about doing spiritual talk, we've had so many wonderful stories from people on their journeys. But a friend of mine who's a healer, he used to get pulled out of bed in a hotel room. He'd be pulled out of bed, and he had all sorts of. It's just, I love hearing those experiences. It's really interesting. Sorry, Colin, carry on.
That's all right. No, not a problem. So yeah, that was my first real kind of physical, I guess, experience.
Yeah.
And then in my book, I write about what I call the Crow Lady.
Ask that question. Beat me to it.
So ask me the question. What was it?
Could you elaborate or expand a bit more about the Crow Lady that's in your book?
Thank you for asking that, Leah. Yes, that was something. Again, I was my lowest point. I was really clinically depressed, suicidal, and a lot of things going on for me at that time. And I was in bed asleep, and I remember just this awareness of being somewhere. I don't know where it was. It was dark, but this lady came, and all I can describe her as is like, it was almost like she had black. It was black, but like black feathers. I wasn't sure if it was feathers, but it reminded me of a crow. It's like, and she came, and I don't know what she was doing on my solar plexus, but whatever that was, she was working there. And I knew her, and I said to her, "I want to come with you. Let me come with you, please." And she said, "You can't come with me." And she was very emotionless about it, actually. She was like, "You can't come with me," and I was like, "I want to come with you." And I remember waking up in absolute tears because I recognized someone from wherever, and she was there, and she was the one that was doing healing, whatever it was. And literally 2 days later, saw me coming out of that depression phase when I was listening to Westlife.
Oh no!
I know, right? But and I was vacuuming, and I realized that I could still sing, and it was through singing that actually took me out of depression and started teaching children vocals as well. Getting them on stage.
You're going to lead on to another question here.
Go on.
Tell us about your music career.
That came much. Well, kind of around that time, but I was writing a lot of lyrics and melodies and stuff, and I didn't know what channeling was back then. But what I did know is everything I seemed to write came true for me. It was like I was writing a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it was all about love and bad things. It's like I didn't realize the power of words. I didn't understand the law of attraction, number one. And so these things I was writing was, quite sad things, and they started happening to me. And I thought, maybe I've got a career in this, not to make everyone else sad, but to connect. If I could connect with one person with my music, maybe they could, maybe it would be of service to them in some way. So I went to music college. God knows how, but I got my level 2 diploma in music, and I still can't read music. Somehow I blagged it. I don't even know how, but yeah, I still can't read music. But I started hooking up with different songwriters and then producers in London, and I started writing some tracks with some people, some that people know, and they haven't really done anything right now, but yeah, I just started mixing with producers over there, and I was really hungry for my publishing deal. Like, no one was more hungrier than me to get this. I really wanted to be a published writer, songwriter, and this is just before my major awakening, right? My second major awakening in 2012, and I had an experience where I was in it was like a big office building, right? And I felt like I was in America. And I was in this office building, and there were all these, they were all black guys. There were no white people there. There was all black people around me in black suits. And one of them actually looked like Michael Jackson's dad. I'm not joking. Right?
No way.
Yeah. And he came up to me and he said, "So why should I give you a publishing deal?" And I said, "Because I'm really hungry for it. I want this. I really want this." And he was pulled to the side by one of them, who whispered in his ear, and all I remember was, "He's the son of." And I don't remember the rest. All I heard was, "He's the son of. You've got to get rid of him. Get him out." And before I knew it, I was down into the lobby, into the reception area, and I said to the receptionist, "You've got to take me back up there. What am I doing down here?" She said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I need to be back up there because there's no one up there." So I went into the lift. I went up, went into the room, completely empty, as if no one had ever been there. And that was when I realised that there are some dark entities around as well, and that whole song about the crossroads and potentially selling your soul. I think I was on the precipice at that point. I'm so glad I got out of the music industry then. That's what took me out. Yeah, because that was real. That was not a dream. I remember it very clearly. You know, I just wish I could remember what they said about he's the son of. I didn't get that.
Yeah. As long as it wasn't the son of Satan, we'd be all right.
Well, no. I would have been a published writer.
Yeah.
Oh, Nikki's just put, was you 27 by any chance when, I assume when that happened? You was?
No, no, it would have been, I would have been, I would have been in my 30s, 36 or somewhere around there.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you can give us some context to that, Nicola, while you ask that question, whether you've had your own experience at that time.
Mm.
So I mean, we got. Sorry, go on. Yeah.
Was this about the same time as your the song that you did the award? Oh, where did I write?
Oh, right.
Was you about to sing then, Leanne?
Sorry?
Was you about to sing?
No.
Wow.
I heard it.
I heard something coming.
But in the end, go.
Yeah.
You want to gain watchers, not lose them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that wasn't with the. You mean the Song of Peace contest?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that was an international contest for songwriters to write in, and I was the final 10. I think I came third or fourth or something like that. Although even the winner said that it should have won, but I haven't. You know, but my singer let me down. Actually, I had a particular singer, and then I had to do it, which wasn't my style. It was like, you know, a little bit of a soft rock, Bon Jovi sort of, and no, I haven't even got the hair for it. You know,
the wig.
Yeah. But that was, I think that was 2006 that I did that.
Okay.
That, yeah. But is it 2006? Yeah, somewhere around there.
I agree,
Sean. Comments coming up here, isn't there?
I agree, John. Come on.
I send out love, not my voice.
The love is in the voice. Come on.
You'll all be putting in your earplugs.
So,
Yeah,
Colin,
to get a good sound. Yeah.
Colin, I'm sorry, I don't mean to rush you, but we've been literally chatting for 20 minutes already.
No.
Honestly, can we talk about all the other, because you do so much.
Yeah.
And I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, you've had these moments, this kind of inspirational moments, awakenings, and suddenly here you are doing so much to help people, helping yourself. Can you just talk about a little bit more about, I mean, the inspirational speaking as well, as a inspirational growth speaker? What is that? Is that literally?
It's coming in and sharing inspiring messages, sometimes channeled,
Okay.
on the stage, or sometimes with a PowerPoint or what have you, and giving people, just sharing hope, giving people hope, because hope is the foundation to everything. It's the foundation to faith and everything above it.
Yeah. You also you're a meditation teacher as well.
Yes.
And your inspirational meditation or give meditation. I can't get my words out tonight. But is it guided meditations that you do, or?
Yeah, they're guided meditations. I've got them on my website as well. Yeah, they're guided meditations. So they're nice as well, because the ones that I've got on there, actually, they're all channeled. They're nothing I write out in advance to necessarily kind of narrate out. They're all ones that come live.
Yeah, brilliant.
You also do my favorite, the crystal singing bowls.
Man, like, I can't even tell you how special they are. They're like family. They literally are. Sounds daft, but each one misbehaves on a different day, in a different time. And I know it's to do with atmospheric pressure as well, and stuff like that in the room. But you've always got one that was like, come on, what's going on? You're not sounding like you normally do, and they need a little bit of a gentle encouragement. But crystal singing bowls are amazing. When we think about frequency, and what frequency really is, and that's all we really are ultimately, is a frequency. There's that element of consciousness that's blended in with that, which goes maybe even beyond frequency, but as we see it from this perspective, we can only really get to the point of frequency because we know that, because it's tangible in the sense that we can understand it. When we go beyond, we lose people then, because they go, I'm not really sure about the consciousness aspect.
If I was sorry.
No, go on.
It's just a question. I'm picking up on what Martin's just put on the chat. Martin's suffering from depression himself. If I'm sitting at home and I'm suffering from depression, and obviously having been through that yourself, and on your journey, is there something you could help people with? Is there something that you found really helped you, Colin?
It is a journey, and it's a journey to a better thing. That's the beautiful thing. The way I look at it, depression, I totally get, when you're in it, you don't see it. You don't see that light. You don't see the wood through the trees. But having been through it and come out the other side, and not only once, multiple times, I can say that there really is, you never go deeper than you've been that time. It doesn't take you deeper down, because you've had experience that already. And there's things such as EFT. EFT is amazing, because usually with depression, there's something that's happening on an emotional level. And EFT is an amazing tool to actually release that, to what's the words I use? Anyway, to let it go. I can't think of the words I normally use.
Yeah.
So EFT, singing bowls, for example, or frequency, 432 hertz frequency, an amazing thing, because it's the natural resonance of nature.
I know, and that's the thing. People don't realize there's a lot of actually stuff on YouTube that you can tune into, different vibration, the as well as different people out there.
You want to make sure that you choose creditable channels like that, because someone could be just playing around, not that they are, but you've got to make sure you get it from these guys know what they're doing. They're not just throwing something together and saying, here's this.
Yeah.
But today's music, for example, is in 440 hertz. And 440 hertz, we're naturally attuned to 432. We love it, right? If you played music from 440 and changed it to 432, you'd notice a warmth about it. There's something that pulls you in, grounds you, and just goes, ah. Now, in 1939, they changed the frequency tuning. So what happened was instruments didn't have their own tuning scale, right? They all had different ways of tuning their instruments, and it took them hours to kind of figure out which one they were going to settle with.
Yeah.
So they decided to change to have a universal tuning standard, which they chose as 440 hertz. Now, the thing with 440 hertz is it's not in alignment with nature. It's 0.08 hertz out, which doesn't sound a lot, but is enough just to take you out of that zone.
Yeah.
So your cells in your body resonate to the frequency. And if your cells are resonating just outside of that frequency, then it's not giving your cells the relaxation that it craves. You know? And there's other frequencies like 528 hertz. 528 hertz is known as the miracle frequency, the miracle cure frequency, where it can do wonders for your body and your mind. So frequency is really important. And they were working with frequencies in the 1800s, 1700s. They knew all about this stuff, and they put it to 440 just outside, and thought, isn't that convenient? Apparently they said it was to do with the piano, but it had nothing to do with the piano whatsoever, because you can tune a piano into whatever.
Yeah, because sometimes you can listen, I don't know if anyone else is the same, but I can listen to a piece of music and it almost like I feel my body tighten.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I use my singing bowl. I've got a big, and I hug it. I give it a good old dong and then give it, oh my God, and just your body just vibrates. It's just beautiful.
Here's something people might not know about music and the piano, for example. With the white keys of the piano, what does it go? C, D, E, F, G, A, B. What are your chakras? C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Right? So you're actually playing the chakra system. And in between those chakras, you have other chakras. And those are the dark notes, the black notes. So what you're actually essentially playing is the chakra system. So when you hear a tune and you really kind of go, oh, I love it. What you want to really do is look at what tuning that's in. Is it from A minor? Is it from C? What was that tuning in? Because it will tell you something about your chakra, and maybe it's something to look at.
Oh, that's interesting. I love Ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca, I really love Ayahuasca, and so he's a modern composer, but it's fantastic. It's all piano based. I love it. But I'm not sure. I'll have to definitely check up on that. We've got some questions coming in. Can we start firing questions at you, Colin?
Absolutely.
So we got one from Carol. I know we talked about darker things. Carol's asked, do you protect yourself from such things, from dark entities? Or have you never met any since? So she's asked basically, what do you do if you do use kind of protection?
I've learned, and this is what I got come in one day, and it really taught me something really valuable. And it's like, when you say to protect yourself, what you're essentially saying is anything outside that protection is now dangerous potentially. So you're creating natural resistance.
Yeah.
Universe. What I was told was, as long as you see yourself, just see this bubble of light. It's not protection. Yeah, it's just this bubble of light energy that's around you. Like all you have in the world, right? It doesn't matter how much land you have. This is the only space you're entitled to. You can move in and out, up and down. This is all yours. This is what you own. Yeah. And so this is all you need to look after is this. You're going to move into, but you're always in your own space. And so if you can imagine arm's length around your body and just see that as this beautiful white light energy, that it's not there to resist anything out. It's just that nothing can come in if it's not in alignment.
Yeah.
And if it's not in alignment, there is no resistance needed because it's not in the vibrational match to come in.
Yeah.
And it's just holding that, if you feel, okay, what's happening here? And you can just kind of observe it and see it just dissipate, because once you're aware of it and coming from that light aspect, then it can't remain.
Good answer. Good answer. Thank you. Another one here from, is this another one from Carol? I found that I'm out of the other side, but I believe it's presidential contract had to do what? Okay, that might have been about depression, which is great. Thank you, Carol. Another one from Vicky.
No, I think that's just
That's another comment, is it?
Yeah.
Well, we should actually put the banner up, shouldn't we? Get the comments coming in. Questions
I've got another one here. Sorry, what's been your favorite experience?
Wow. That is a really good question. How would I narrow that down to a experience?
Give us a few.
I think my greatest experience, in a sense of awareness, is just seeing the world how some want you to see it, and seeing it as it really is, and it's still a beautiful place. Really beautiful place.
Definitely. Got another one there. What's EFT?
EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. It's otherwise known as tapping, and we use the premise of acupuncture. So we use acupuncture points, and we say some things, and we work through that, and it's energy work. And I guess everything that I do is all about energy work. It's about just releasing and freeing that energy in whichever way can be done. So EFT is a great tool. It's growing as well, and it's now clinically proven by the NHS, which is great. We were waiting a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
they took 35 patients on the NHS suffering from clinical depression and psychosis. Now, psychosis isn't a light thing.
Yeah.
And 34 out of 35 of them made a full recovery in a record time, and all they used was EFT.
Wow.
So that leads me nicely onto a question. I know in 2020, if you don't mind talking about it, I know you had a tumor the size of a macadamia nut.
I did, a macadamia nut on a nut, yes.
So in 6 weeks, you managed to beat it without surgery. Are you going to tell us how?
I will, yeah, because I'm an open book. You can ask me anything you like. So that I went to the doctors, and he said, I'm going to rush you into wherever just to get them to check you over in hospital. So I went to the hospital, and they said, well, we're going to have to admit you. It's like we're going to have to chop it off, and maybe chop one of your friends off as well. And that might not stop the pain, because I was in a severe amount of pain as well. It's very, as you can imagine. And I was like, my friends have been with me since I was born. I'm not losing one, So I decided, and I said, okay, thank you. And knowing full well I was not going for surgery, they booked a date for me to go to surgery. And I phoned up and I said, I'm going to actually refuse it. And they said, why? I said, because I've got alternative ways I'm going to get rid of this. And they said, well, what do you mean? Like, well, I'm going to use essential oils. So I use a particular brand of essential oils, and particular oils within that brand. And that was, I used helichrysum, which is a really expensive oil, but so effective, and sandalwood. And intuitively, I was being guided and they were saying, sandalwood, you need to get sandalwood. And I didn't know anything about sandalwood, but one of the best things I could have done. So I did that. I did lots of meditation. I visualized the healing process.
Yeah, that's important.
And it certainly brought me closer to whoever that is. That just brought me so much closer. And I was like, I'm not going for the surgery, so you've got no choice there. Either I'm going to go early, or you're going to help me get through this. Do you know what I mean? And so so my meditations became very intense and very, very colourful, very vivid.
Wow. I bet the doctors were shocked, weren't they?
Well, they did phone up again, and I said it's gone. Oh, okay. Put the phone down, never heard from him since. And I know that will go into a little drawer. That will go into a little drawer called spontaneous remissions, and it won't be looked at again, because they don't work with energy. They work with chemicals.
Yeah.
And they think everything has to be chemical based. And that's the flaw with not saying pharmaceuticals aren't bad, because if I was to get my leg chopped off, I don't want to be awake for that,
No, exactly.
They've got their place,
Yeah.
But I knew it wasn't, you know, I could get rid of this myself. I knew I could do that. Well, with help, of course, but instigating.
Wow.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And I know you also do, you channel, don't you? So is there a particular person, spirit that you channel, or is it like a collective?
It's definitely a collective. I didn't know, is when I was getting into channeling, I didn't know, I was like, I don't even know what this is, because it was like, one would have, I get a channeling one day and it was very particular in a certain way, and then I get another channeling, and then there'll be some legal stuff maybe, and I've got this legal brain. I'm like, I'm getting legal advice, and I'm like, how am I even doing that? I'm not, yeah, I've no idea with legalities of things, but it was like just this intense focus and boom, and it's all kind of coming out. So I knew it was a collective, and I asked the question. I said, "Who are you?" And they said, "We are the clarions of time." And I was like, "But time doesn't exist." No, you're misunderstanding. You know, the clarions of time. Time doesn't exist as you know it, but we are the clarions of time. So I started researching the clarions, because I was thinking, who are the clarions? You know, surely other people must know who these are. And every search I got on Google, it was the band, and I'm sure I thought it can't be the clarions. You know, it's not the band. So I carried on looking, and I saw one book, and it said the Clarion Call. I thought, oh my God, I just need to buy that book. I've never read it. I just knew I needed to buy the book, and I think that was more confirmation of saying this is right. And so yeah, that was that. So it's part of a collective. I know it's part of a collective. I know it's, you know, there's lots. I've been to people who are very well versed in the energies and stuff, and he said, do you know what? He said, people come in sometimes with lots of people with them, you know, and they don't know, but you've got an entire entourage. It's just like the energy that's in here is like immense. And I'm like, there you go. I know there's a lot of them. And they come through in different ways. I get writings. I do long writings. I've got one last 2020 called the transitioning of timelines, and it's the longest channeled writing I've ever done. And it's really interesting because it's in 3 parts, and I already had the other 2. I didn't know. It's only when I'm looking through, you know, sometimes I'll go through them and I'll go, oh, that's good. And I realized, hang on, that's an extension of that. And when I put them together, they're just extensions of the one writing, but in reverse order. Like, you can't make that up, you know? So, yeah, I've got that. And poetry, they come around with poems, and they give you messages through poems. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I've got one here if you want to listen to it. It is actually...
Yes.
Yeah. So it's actually from the Clarions. This came directly from them, and I think this is them as a collective, so coming together in one message. So so it says the Clarion Call. It's called. And it says, "This is a message to all, but beginning with the few, to those who are angry, to those who are frustrated, to the extreme type of believers, to those who seek to believe. Stop what you do and just listen. Stop and hear what we say. Stop and take heed of this message, that your actions are far from the way. Your anger and all of your frustrations in what you are told and taught how to react is not in keeping with the love and the wisdom from what you hold dear to your hearts in a text. Do not despair, O my dear loved children, for the voices will surely be heard. If you take for more peaceful protest, from your heart shall you be heard. For your protest is not to the masses, your protest is with that of the few. Yet the violence to those in the masses may damage more damage than good that you do. For answers are not found through these actions. They create separation, division, and fear. Listen and become open to reason. Listen and all will become clear. For it is here that you believe that with great passion. Indeed, there is great work to be done. But when one rides only for battle, the people can never be one. Understand the words that we share here. Know them to be sent from the high. That salvation is never through violence. It is found through the peace-filled mind. There are great laws that will indeed seek the balance. There are great laws that in no way can deny that the laws that stand as a binding to the universe, these laws must abide. These laws, one of it shall give you. It shall reflect the result, and in turn, it will acquire from you all you receive, and from your will, you will learn. For you are one in the same as your neighbor, and your neighbors beyond land and the sea. Take this moment to come back to your heart space. All the pain that you feel will be freed. Now to the many who are in the receiving of such anger, frustration, and pain, do not judge your brother or sister. Do your feelings ask for the same? If your feeling is to fight for more justice, it will enhance the rage from within. Or you may be hurting and filled with emotion and judged through your own anger and pain. Yet by thinking and feeling in this manner, you are opening to receive much of the same of the sender. And for this always is great. For when both sides condemn and place judgment, the end can be seen no more. And when you fight fire only with fire, the answer can only be war. And when both sides are deep within friction, the peace each are trying to find will be hidden from sight till the senses see light in a world not led astray by the blind. There is great power with each of these writings. There is great knowledge that will enlighten the mind, for hidden are the codes of the true path when resistance is all but behind. Yet only when one truly is open, is one truly able to practice free will. Only through an open can one become able, and through able can one then be still. And my dear loved one, here is the power that you now may choose. It is the power of one's own free will, and with it one can never lose. Do what you will in the knowledge, accept that thy will done unto you, that the thoughts and emotions that you are emitting to others will soon return back unto you. This journey is not for the faint-hearted, but for those who are willing to stay on a path of co-creation and discovery, that the light may now show them the way. Do not fear, O my children of the earthbound, for both of you suffer the same. Let not love in your hearts be divided. Let not your minds be drawn into blame. Stand united in the knowing of knowing that each religion, practice, belief are part of the thing that can only be one, or is all one that can never be. Do not worry, but instead raise your thinking beyond all that you think you do know. And in return, you shall grasp a new understanding, and through unity of humanity shall you grow. Do not become just a scapegoat. Stand with the heart and head held high. Believe in the power of salvation. Believe all that I am, that am I. From the heart, open your heart with a teardrop. For those who were lost in the fight, understand that it was needed. It was indeed needed, and so that the dark may give way to the light. For the light is the way that will guide you to the peace and the harmony you seek. It will forever be with you, my dear one, through the knowledge that you now may keep. Do not divide yourselves through separation. Hold no doubt that you can be free. Just remember all that you are is the same, because the all is the I am, is me.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's lovely. Thank you, Colin.
it's okay.
Oh, Carol's put made her cry. It was so powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had some really lovely comments come up. How beautiful.
Yeah.
And that was from the collective of them. That was the whole. Yeah, this was the whole thing in. I don't know when that was written. It was 2020. I said.
Yeah. Thank you, Colin.
There's another question here that leads us off from your channeling, actually, because we know you do your bushcraft.
Oh yes.
So have you always been interested in bushcraft, or was it something you were channeled to do?
Definitely the second. It was last year I got into gardening. I was being taught how to plant seeds, and I grew some really good tomatoes when everyone else has failed, most of them anyway. I was like, this is how you do it. Everything organic. And I'd never planted anything before. My garden was an absolute mess. I've kind of transformed it into this thing. And it was totally guided because I had no idea how it was going to be set out. And that led me into bushcraft. It was like, now for the next step. And I'm like, what is the next step? And suddenly I just see something on YouTube with someone doing something. And I'm like, well, that seems like fun. And then that was it. I was like pulled into it. I didn't have to push it or anything. It was just like, and it is the next phase now. And it is, and I get that. It's all about bringing people back to that connecting to nature, because they're always connected. It's not about reconnecting. It's just raising that level of awareness that you've always been connected. You've never been disconnected from it. And if let's hope not, but if we lost electricity and gas, can you light a fire?
Yeah.
Can you keep warm? Can you forage? Can you look for things? Can you build something? If you had to move out of your house in a hurry, or and so all these things kind of pop up. But regardless of that, it's just a really good camping experience. Getting out there and just enjoying. Nature's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's scary because what we've done with nature, by the way, we've cut off nature with 4 walls. We've soundproofed ourselves from nature. So when we go out there on a nighttime and it's scary, it's because we're not used to having no walls to block us from nature, But
actually, when you go outside and you sleep outside, you get the best night's sleep.
Right.
You're grounded.
Not so much around here. It's about -3 at the moment, so I don't fancy that. But I absolutely with you on that one.
I'm going out. I've got a load of gear, and I've got some. I'll be sharing all that soon enough. But I'm going to be going out in that weather and getting out in the woods.
Yeah, look, Dylan's going to be tapping you up. He wants to learn bushcraft. He was talking to Jacob, our little one, the other night, and he was like, "Do you fancy doing it?" As soon as that's up and running.
Awesome.
Well, it's interesting because I'm about to go on a bushcraft qualification course, and what it does, it provides me to have insurance because you can't get insurance unless you've got the qualification, and I can take children out on the daytime to the woods, and teach them bushcraft, and parents, families, whatever, and also adults, take them out and give them the bushcraft experience.
Brilliant.
Looking forward to that. So yeah, hit me up, Dylan, and you can definitely do that.
So Colin, sorry, I want to come back to your crystal sand bowls.
Yeah.
Have you got anything nearby? I should have asked you before we went live.
Yeah, if I didn't know, they're all tucked away for bed.
Yeah, I should have asked you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were crystal. What's the difference though with it being crystal sound bowl?
It's the quality of the sound. So you've got Tibetan bowls.
Hang on, Leanne, your face looked disgusted when I said that.
Sorry.
You can't hide it.
I need to. Sorry. What's the difference?
Well, yeah, I'm a bit of a newbie when it comes to sound baths.
Yeah. Well, it's like having a normal instrument, right, and tuning it in, and then having a digital instrument.
Okay.
They're not the same because like a stringed instrument, for example, moves air, so it's doing the real thing, and that's what you're experiencing, the moving of air. So that frequency is coming through the through the atmosphere to you.
Yeah.
Whereas a digital version is not moving air as such, but the pitch of it will be much sharper, much clearer. And crystal singing bowls would be like that versus the Tibetan bowls. The Tibetan bowls are great, and they've been used for a long, long time. But there's something about crystal. You know, when you do it on a glass, and you get that high pitch. If you did that on a mug, you wouldn't. Right? So there's a slight difference. And so, yeah, it's just, I think it's clearer. And for me, with crystal singing bowls, mine are tuned into 432 hertz, and they're in perfect pitch. So they're ideal for like healing. And the good thing about crystal singing bowls is they have proven that the frequency, because we live in this ocean of motion, right? This wave of energy. And so when the bowls kick out the sound, it actually goes all around up to a kilometer in every direction and lasts for several minutes afterwards. I used to play in a pub. Well, not play in a pub. Actually, I used to play next to a pub in this amazing place. It had glass windows and the sound reverberated amazingly. And they literally 5 minutes within playing the singing bowls, they were gone. They were inside the pub. They never came out until about 5 minutes after I stopped playing the singing bowls. It was amazing every single time on a Friday night. When would you ever experience that? You know,
exactly. Friday nights, people are outside the pub, aren't they?
I think they were just hugging each other in there, going, "I love you, man." You know, just like for that hour.
It's like I always put my clients. I always give my clients bottles of water, and I always put them in the singing bowl. And I'm going, whatever you do, make sure you drink it before the day's out.
Yeah. You can charge crystals in there as well.
Yeah, that's how I cleanse all mine. Yeah, they are
crystals. It works on the chakra system. Your cells, like I said, they vibrate. You know, and they love to be in alignment. You know, and when your cells are in alignment, you know, magical things happen. You know.
My grandchildren love them. They're constantly donging them. I'm going, just be careful.
I want to share something quite deep, right? And it's, you know, when I said there's that little bit of a resistance when you talk about the etheric aspects of things, you know, and people kind of get stuck a bit there, and they're like, I want some proof, because we want certainty, right? And we're always looking for proof of things. And so science has its own understanding of how the universe came, right? And if we go by Stephen Hawkins's theory, he said that there was a dot once smaller than an atom. It was like a black hole. It had no movement, no space, no time, or anything. But there was no universe outside of it. Everything was contained within it. So if you go by that premise, it would say that every planet and every star, right, you and I, no exception to that rule, were also part of what was inside of there, because nothing existed outside, right? Every bit of metal, every bit of plastic that you can see was also contained within that dot once smaller than an atom. Well, if everything was contained within that dot once smaller than an atom, it would also mean that every thought that could ever be thought, every possible scenario that could ever be played out, and consciousness and awareness itself must have already existed within that dot once smaller than an atom. Because by science's own admission, nothing was outside of it. And that is the one. That's the oneness. So in their own words, they actually admit that there was consciousness before consciousness from the outside, because it couldn't not exist. Yeah.
Interesting.
All potential was contained within that dot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. For the science people out there, you know, I've said this to clinical psychologists, right? And for the first time in their lives, they've really thought. I could see that they were like, I've never thought about it that way before. You know, because they've always been very clinical and very scientific. When you open the doors like that, that's a great introduction, because it does make people question. I think it's not about telling people what's what. It's about asking questions and making them question it for themselves.
Yeah.
And then leave them. You know, let them sort it out. They'll find the way. You know, but just question everything.
Yeah. We got a question there from Vicky.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do when I know is that spirit are with me?
Okay. So the first thing to do is relax. You know, just, you know, and it's difficult because our natural response is to panic or to worry.
To fear.
I had exactly the same thing with my other awakening that I had in 2012, right? The big one. And I remember spirit coming up to my face Well, actually, it was near the bedroom door at the beginning, right? And I was on my own, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. I could feel something. That's really strange. Anyway, following night, it came halfway in, and I could feel, and there was a definite difference of the distance. And then the third night, I absolutely panicked because it was right here. I could feel the coldness. I could almost see, like, the breath coming out, and I was absolutely petrified. And I put the quilt over me, and I started reciting the Lord's Prayer because I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't get it. I really didn't know what was happening, and it was scary.
It can be scary if you don't know what's happening. It can be really, really scary.
Yeah. So that's why I say the first thing is to relax, take a breath. Call in whatever higher power you want to make sure that what's with you is again, if you're resonating in that vibration, you can receive whatever, right? So it's about working on yourself, keeping your vibration high, and thinking. You can't always think happy thoughts, but it's about recovery. It's how quickly you can get back to happy thought, right? Or something more positive. You don't always get there straight away. We don't always stay there. So definitely relax. Invite that higher. Just see it as from love. Come from your heart space. Your heart is the telephone. It's the direct telephone link to all things good and all things bright and beautiful, right? So it literally is. And connect to your heart, and then see. I mean, sometimes if it is of that low and you've raised your vibration, sometimes it'll fizzle out if it was nothing. But I don't think anything can hurt us. I honestly don't believe anything can hurt you without your permission. You have to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
But fear is the thing. So relax, definitely.
Yeah, because am I right in saying Little Bird told me, Colin, that a certain person twisted your arm and got you to agree to do a meditation? Is that true? I wonder who that was.
I believe it is. Where's that
his arm's out of his socket.
So, guys, I mean, do you mind if we bring people into the studio so you can kind of experience that as well? Should we do that? Yeah. If people want to jump on the link and come into the studio.
So is it a meditation where you're going to take us on a little journey? Is it a channeled
meditation? I have no idea what's going to be said. I have literally no idea. I just close my eyes with this one, with meditations, and I just allow it to do what it needs to do and go where it goes.
So guys,
are we doing this as well, or?
Well, one of us should. I think. Do you want to do it? And I'll stay this side.
Well, I'm not going to say no, but if you'd like to, I'm quite happy to do it on the repeat, so I don't.
Yeah. No, I'm quite happy to sit and watch.
I'm in there.
Last time I did that, I did nodding dog, and I've not forgiven myself for kind of doing the whole nodding dog. So I'll stay this side.
I'm not one to turn an experience down.
So guys, if you want to come in, jump on the link I've just put up there. Dylan's put it up on the screen as well. If you can just click on the link, you can come into the studio and share in the love, in the experience.
While we're waiting for people to come on, I mean, where do you see the world heading at the moment? From like what you did?
When 2020 happened, BC, before COVID, when 2020 happened, my first thing was, because I'm human, I was like, what's happening? Because it was, and again, it's that word uncertainty. It's one of the first human need that we have, according to Tony Robbins, is certainty. If we don't have it, the world becomes wobbly. But very quickly, I was getting information coming in, and actually I became excited, because we're heading, and this is about that transitioning of timelines. Once upon a time, the world was very feminine, okay, and women were running the world. Women were not like this, but women were doing the stuff. We're in ancient places like Lemuria and Atlantis. Atlantis was more masculine, I believe, but they were still using crystals. But Lemuria was definitely crystal based and very feminine, and that the feminine energy was there. And then what you saw was that transitioning going into the masculine, which is where we've been for quite a while. And all I keep getting in, it's like it's a cycle. And this stuff happens naturally. And it's not when you get into the feminine because you're unbalanced at that point. It's not when you go into the masculine. It's actually that sweet spot in the middle. There's the balance between the two. That's when true harmony happens, and everyone understands one another. And we're heading there. We're in it. We're actually in the transitioning. And you get to choose through your conscious awareness. You get to choose what kind of world you want to live in. If you see the world in a negative place, you're going to end up experiencing that negative aspect. Yeah. Because all your timelines come in. It's a bit of a mouthful, but all your timelines come in to a certain point. And this is what I saw in an ayahuasca experience. And I saw the whole thing just coming in like that, all these timelines. And actually what it looks like is double helix. But that's how I was seeing it. And so all your timelines, all the choices that you choose, you are a multidimensional being. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. You have the dimension of thought, you have the dimension of feeling, you have everything's in a dimension, but contained within this beautiful vessel called your body. And the body isn't who you are. The body is something you have. You say my hand, my name. You're not even your name. You see. So when you understand that and see your name is something you have, if you weren't given a name, you'd still be here. So you're more than your name. The I am. And so seeing that with the transitioning of timelines, it's a very exciting time. It is exciting if you choose to see it that way. And again, it comes down to choice.
Yeah.
It's a good time to be alive.
Absolutely.
It really is. It really is. We chose this.
Mm-hmm.
You know. The other thing I want to quickly share as well with they're saying about the rising of population. Well, channeling I got through with that to explain that really easy is, well, why would there suddenly be a massive spurt in population? And what happens is when people try to stop the natural process of humanity raising in their consciousness to the 5D, the fifth density, when people try to suppress that, there are other consciousnesses all over the universe that will come in, and they'll just add weight and add weight and add weight. So what you're seeing is to the point of where that tipping point has no choice but to tip in the favor of the ascension process.
Yeah.
It's exciting, I think.
Yes.
I feel my body like vibrating and going, oh God, what's, the excitement of what's going to happen, and like feeling it, that it's really hard because that something good's coming, but people don't like feel it or understand it or get it. And sometimes I feel a bit bad that through this whole process of this last year and a half, 2 years, we've personally had losses as well, but I've also seen the beauty to unfold within it.
Yeah.
Just finding yourselves and, like being restricted to being at home and being told you can go out for an hour. It's made some people that don't go out for a walk actually step outside. Like you were saying, I got into growing vegetables and fruit and stuff that I've never found the time to go. Yeah. So, looking at the blessings, and like you said, there's sad times as well, because, I felt it from a lot of people and witnessed it myself, but also to see the balance in both sides.
And that is, you've got it right there. That is about just, creating your faith. And that doesn't mean religion. It just means having faith in humanity, because it doesn't matter what side of the fence and choices that anyone makes ever, everyone's coming from it because they care.
Yeah.
They just care, and they care in their own way. And we have to see that they care in their own way.
Yeah.
Just
need to be less judgmental and more here.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got a couple of takers. I can see at the bottom of the screen. We've got Carol and Zoe. Hi, guys. I'm just going to bring you into the stream. So I'm going to put you in the middle, Colin. So
hello.
Hi, Zoe. I'm just going to put you guys on mute, though, while Colin goes in and starts the meditations. If you're watching at home, don't do this while you're driving.
Yes, or operating machinery.
Yeah. Yeah, please don't do that. Zoe's going to be right back in a sec. She's just nipped to put the kettle on, I think. So she'll be back in a sec. But if you are watching at home, please relax, get yourself in a comfortable position and enjoy. Hi, Zoe. She's back. She's back. Awesome. She's in bed.
Don't blame her.
We'll wake you up if you don't wake up. We'll come and Get this big. I've got my gongs here, so I can wake you up with these, Zoe. Okay. All right, nice and loud. Perfect. Perfect. So over to you, Colin.
Thank you very much. I just want to share with you, actually, I need to let you know what the clarion was. And a clarion, what I researched in the end, I found out what it actually was. It was a Roman trumpet, which is an announcement. It was all about making important announcements. And so there it was. Yeah. So just share that with you. That was after I got through all the band, clarions. Okay, so yeah, if your mind wanders through the meditation, don't worry, it's okay. Just bring yourself back to the awareness, and then just focus on your breathing. Okay, so just focus on the sound of your breath, and that'll bring you back. Okay, our mind naturally wanders in and out, but whatever is happening, you're receiving the benefits of that. You're receiving whatever frequency downloads are being offered at that time. I'll have my eyes closed, so I'm just going to kind of hand myself over, and we're going to go from there. So just make sure you're if you can, make sure you're supporting your own body, so that you're not really, because if you lean, you're more likely to relax and go to sleep. That's the secret to meditation, is trying to keep yourself up straight and the neck at 90 degrees.
I don't want to fall off the back of the chair.
You'll be fine. Okay.
I won't laugh, I promise.
So just close your eyes for a moment. Allow your eyes to close gently. And just aware of the sound of your breathing. The sound of your breath gently in and gently out. Just focus on that sound of your breath. That beautiful, gentle breathing. Just like the soft waves lapping up against the shore of a beautiful beach. Breath comes in and breath goes out. Allow your body to relax. Allow your mind to relax. Relax the muscles, relax your jaw. Relax the muscles in the back of your neck. Relax your shoulders. And just allow your mind to focus on the sounds of breathing. And imagine you're standing on this beautiful beach, which is in synchronicity with the breath coming in and coming out, and so are the waves. As you breathe in, the waves come in. As you breathe out, the waves leave. As you're looking at that beautiful blue ocean, those oceanic waves. And that beautiful breathing. And as you focus on those beautiful waves, noticing the beautiful colors of that blue ocean. And it's a color that you choose. The color blue that you choose. allow yourself to gently walk towards the waves. Where you get to climb into a beautiful rowing boat. As you climb in that rowing boat, it feels very secure, very safe. And just begin gently rowing out into that beautiful blue ocean, the beautiful calmness of the water. Making your way further out and further out. And as the water gets even more deeper colour blue, as you're further out, you see a beautiful floating bell, like a buoy in the ocean. And it's just giving a gentle, gentle sound. Focusing on breathing, relaxing the breathing. And you can always hear that beautiful ringing bell just in the background. As you take up the oars on the boat, and you listen to the gentle waves lapping against the boat, the gentle choppiness of the waves in that blue ocean. And as you look at that colour blue, allow it to enter into you in the form of a colour, that beautiful blue. And allow it to come in through your heart. Such a warm blue colour. Allow it to swirl around in your heart. And watch as your heart beats and begins to pump this beautiful blue energy around your body. Almost like your veins are turning blue. It feels safe, it feels calm, and it feels loving. This beautiful blue energy begins to make its way around your body, into your muscles, into your skin. And it's almost like you become one with the ocean. You just feel yourself becoming more one with the ocean. Stepping into just an awareness that you are the ocean. And the ocean, just notice that beautiful sky above you. And the beautiful sun in the sky. And all around you, you can see land, because you are the ocean. And that you get to feed the land with your water. Imagine all of the land that you see with this beautiful lush greenery around it. Surrounding yourself with this beautiful green, different shades, sunshine green, knowing that you played your part in fulfilling life for the planet. Understanding your role as water is to share, is to provide, is to be of service to everything around you, because you are the ocean. And as an ocean, everything is around you. That you really are being of service to all that's around you. And all you have to do is just be there, just be present. That beautiful sky and that beautiful sun, knowing you're a part of not just the ocean, but actually something more, something bigger. And that your role is to be present, in this case as water. Just look around you and notice how you feel. Notice what it feels like for you. And notice you're just one aspect of the ocean. But there are many others that come like you to make the ocean collectively, in unity, being of service together, which not only creates the beautiful ocean, but literally changes the greenery on the outside. It surrounds you and them together. Just notice the peace and the tranquility, but also the unity that you feel. Knowing you're all together, doing the same thing, heading the same way. And yet you are important, they are important. Each one playing their role to becoming the ocean. And just becoming aware of yourself now. And say thank you for that experience with the ocean. And bring yourself back into the boat. Hearing that gentle bell ringing in the background. That calm momentum. And as you sit in the boat, just lay down in the boat for a moment. Just lay down in the boat. And just feel that gentle rocking that the ocean has you. You're safe. And come to the realization that you as the unity of humanity can change everything for you on the outside when you come together, when you do your part, when you are of service. Notice the absence of judgment. Notice the tranquility and peace. Here is the power that you've always owned. It will bring you nothing but relief. Know that you're part together. And as you do your part, and others do theirs, you come together like an ocean of consciousness, an ocean of humanity. And what it really means to be alive. Always remember that when you feel separated, when you feel hopeless, remember that you are an ocean. And there are many droplets of water that will align with you. You're never alone. And just allow that blue energy that's in the body, just absorb it. Just absorb it into your body. Absorb it, absorb it. Allow it to fade and fade and fade as it absorbs into every cell of your body. So that your cells will always remember your unity as an ocean. Now it's time to gently sit up in your boat and gently rowing back to shore. See yourself getting closer and closer to the beach. As you now reach the shore and gently climb out of the boat, you take one more look at that ocean and just say to yourself, I'm not separate from anything or anyone. And if there's anything you want to give back to the ocean now, if there's any emotion, any feeling, any thought you'd like to offer the ocean, you'd like to release from your body, you can gently place it with your hands into the water and watch it float away. And the ocean will cleanse and clear that for you. And now gently standing up, stepping back from the beach, into the dry side. Close your eyes. Metaphysically place your hand on your heart and say to yourself, and so it is. Gently bringing your awareness now back into your room, to your moment, to your space. Just becoming more aware of the surroundings in your body. Gently wiggling your fingers and your toes. Gently rolling your shoulders. Gently moving your neck from side to side. Just getting stretches in your neck. Back down to the shoulders. Back down to the fingers of the toes. And whenever you feel ready, whenever you feel comfortable to come back, gently, gently blinking open your eyelids. As always, we sense the love.
Hi guys, how are we feeling? Does anyone like to share their experience? How are you feeling? Do you rather keep it private? It's up to you guys. You're more than welcome to share it with us. How did you get on, Leanne?
Yeah. I'm still floating. Mine was all about colour, but as soon as you went to the ocean, off came my legs and out came my fin. So I was just like, yeah, back at home. It was lovely. And then when you said to stand at the shore and give back, it was just unconditional love.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful, just amazing colours, and yeah, it was really lovely. Thank you. It was like really beautiful.
It's a pleasure. Do you guys feel calmer?
Yeah. Are you two going to talk to us?
They're muted. Let me unmute them. Hi Zoe.
Hello.
I'll do one at a time. Hi Zoe, how you doing?
Okay, thank you.
How was that?
Very, made me think a lot.
I don't know if you guys noticed. There was a lot of interference, wasn't there, with the sound? Did you guys hear it okay?
Mine was in and out.
Yeah, there was some really strange and odd. Dylan and I were talking while you guys were doing the meditation. There was some really strange frequencies and interference, and I wonder if it was getting any kind of interference going on there. So, but you managed.
Flow of energy.
You managed to travel though, Zoe, or did you stay?
Yeah, and I felt like I was in it was like paradise, and I was floating the whole time.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How did you get on, Carol? I'm just going to mute you, Zoe. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Brian. He's in the background.
He can't hear you. They're saying hello.
Oh, hello.
Sorry. I didn't want to come back. I was floating. I feel the movement, the sea. It was lovely. I felt like something took over me slightly. My hands and legs went. Had no sensation of them being there, and then I had a funny sensation on my face, like a gentle touch. I felt like it was going to be a hard job to come back.
Okay.
I feel like I've had a few gin and tonics.
Oh,
I feel sort of
I
like,
wish I'd done it
I feel
now.
like myself. I feel like going,
Yeah, no, that's really good.
that was lovely.
That's really good.
It will help with sleep tonight for sure.
That's good. Nothing else does.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us. We really appreciate
Thank you.
it. And we'll see you again soon. Take care. Take care. Vicky said she feels a bit, I feel odd, like I'm not really here.
Is that now, or was that during that time?
I think she put that on just as you were coming back. So what can she do to help her to ground herself, Colin?
There's several things you can do to ground yourself. You can imagine from the feet, from your base of your feet, roots growing into the ground. So imagine them going deep, deep down into the earth, and wrapping around and pulling your feet tightly to the ground. And also on top of that, you can actually imagine yourself sinking into the earth up to your waist, because you can draw that energy up as well. So you get it to your waist, and that's a very good grounding thing as well. Water can help. So having some water just to kind of bring you back. Another really good grounding technique, you might want to do it this time of night, but is to bare feet on the grass.
Yeah.
It naturally discharges energy and also naturally grounds you as well. That's why we wear rubber soles on our feet, right?
Yeah.
The disconnect.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeps us disconnected. Yeah. Yeah. Colin, thank you for that. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate you giving up your busy schedule to come and be interviewed tonight.
Pleasure. Yeah.
It's
Looking
been
forward to it. So yeah, it's good.
It's been good fun.
Yeah.
And it's surprising how quick an hour and a half goes as well. It is amazing.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to quickly next week talk about our next week's guest, if you don't mind. We've got Mia Francis coming on, and Leanne knows a little bit about what Mia does. I say a little bit, quite a lot. So did you want to explain?
Yeah, so
might not know you about this.
No, so she teaches light language, which is something that seems to be extremely close to me at the moment. Poor old Dylan gets no sleep. I channel lots of it at night, and also I've been doing it when I'm driving in my car on my own. And also
hang on. Essex Police are on the phone.
I know.
Traffic police.
I also had a beautiful experience with one of my clients that the other night I actually recorded it. We had just over half an hour of solid light language conversation. It was
interesting.
Absolutely amazing. It was just heart resonating. That is something that I want to put it out there so that you can just listen to it. You don't have to be meditating or
why don't you put that, if it's okay, put it on the Facebook group. So if people want to jump in some light language and see what it's about, they've got that opportunity to do that.
And children naturally do it. Like my grandson's done it. It was beautiful. And
really?
Yeah, he got out of the bath and he just started going off. And I looked at him and I didn't quite know what to say. And I didn't say anything. I just let him do it. And he had a big smile on his face. And he was like really eyes engaged in me. So it was a real soul connection. And I felt my whole body vibrate. It was beautiful. I think people are still a bit, Have you come across it, Colin? Are you?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I really want to kind of get into it. I don't know if I've done it. I don't even know if I actually am with someone like, oh, right. Or oh, wow, this is new.
It just flows. Everybody can do it. It's almost class it as like a heart language. It's just, yeah, it's beautiful.
And the children are the ones. You watch these kids, this generation, as they grow up, these newborns, as they grow up, different world for them.
I've got a granddaughter that is just a month old, and you know, from the moment she popped out, her eyes were open, was all the way around. She lifted her head and everything, and I'm like, you lot are just a total different breed.
We've got to remember, right, that what we've got going on today, all right, and all the stuff behind it. This is, remember I said at the beginning, it's about cycles. And in 1917, I think it was, same thing going on, where it was oil, steel, and money. Right. Today, it's pharmaceuticals, technology, and money. Right.
Yeah.
But you've got, if you look at the patterns of who's involved in all this stuff, and how it works, it's almost identical. Where everyone started living more in poverty, and you can see all the prices of fuel going up. But the beautiful thing about it is they didn't win. Yeah, they didn't get it. In fact, what happened was they had someone in the government that was trying to fight them and trying to disband these global monopolies. And so what they did is they put him in a very special place, so they knew he wouldn't be able to do anything. And they put him in as vice president, because in them days, vice president didn't do anything, and he just retired quietly. He could never run for president because he'd never be taken seriously. So they put him in there. What they weren't banking on is that president that they bought and paid for got assassinated. So the very one, and this was President Roosevelt came into office and disbanded all the monopolies. And I'm sharing that because this is the thing. It's going to get better. We're not in this forever. All right. It gets so much better than this. And our newborn children, as they come up, they're going to experience such a beautiful world because it is the way it works.
Yeah. Talking about newborn children, Zoe finds out on Friday whether she's pink or blue. So good luck with that, Zoe.
Good luck.
Yeah, well done. So I think I've done all my announcements. You've got a development circle coming up as well, Leanne, you're advertising.
Spiritual development, yeah. So it's going to be very flowy and it's about spiritual as in the whole thing about you individually on a journey. So rather than just guiding it on one area, it's going to be a complete flow so that you can find your way in this beautiful, so you can shine bright.
Absolutely. And I'm also, my little plug, I'm at Bradwell Church this Sunday. So if you're in the vicinity of Great Yarmouth or Galston or Lowestoft, come along and say hi. Doors open at, I believe it's around about 6:45. Service starts at 7. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the Bradwell Church community. So Spiritual Church. So just again, it's that time again to say thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be back next week with Mia Francis. I'm really looking forward to that. And have a lovely weekend, everybody.
Thank you, Colin.
Yeah, thank you so much, Colin.
If anyone wanted the Singing Bowls album, I've got one on my website.
Oh, lovely.
happyu.com and then into shop, and it's called The Extended. So it's an extended album. It's on a bit of an offer at the moment anyway. So if you go on that, you can actually have a full Singing Bowls album, and it works amazing for sleep. I work with clients with anxiety, and they use it, and they get amazing results with it. So,
lovely.
Highly recommended.
Did you say there's a sample, or is it an actual album on there?
It's an actual album. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and there's all the other meditations, my channel meditations on there as well. But the Singing Bowls album would be the one, because it's play that in the background, and it changes the atmosphere to your room. It really does. It's very angelical.
It cleansing a house as well, isn't it? It's
totally. It floods your house at 432 hertz. Nothing better than that.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Thanks ever so much again, Colin, and we'll see everyone next week. Take care, everybody. Bye for now. Bye.